Hey, honey, you ready for the gala?
Yep, ready to go.
What? What's this?
Well, what's wrong with this?
This is not good.
Wait, isn't it webinar style like last year?
It's live.
It's live? Like people see me kind of live?
Yes, people will see. We're going to sit in the living room, Zoom squares, like
Oh, then I don't think this is going to be work. It is not going to work.
I don't think so.
Oh boy, give me a second and I'll put it all together.
Okay, all right.
All right,
okay.
see you in a minute.
All right, just don't take too long because
Okay.
it's live. It's starting right now.
Okay, I'm going.
All right, okay, all right. I hope this doesn't take too long.
Ready to go.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
I don't know. I haven't even worn any of this in a year.
That's amazing. What a truly resourceful Aisha Kyle. That's amazing. Well, let's go. I don't want to be late for this thing. This thing is live,
It's live?
This is live.
Like it's really going to be live?
It's going to be a lot of fun. And I hear
we're going to see everybody?
We're going to see everyone. Actually, I hear they're honoring an incredible volunteer of the year.
Really?
Yes.
I can't wait to see who that is.
There you go. All right.
Thank you. No need for mass tonight. Tonight's a night where we can see one another and be seen. Let's reconnect. We've been apart for so long.
Thank you very much for being here, and welcome to the San Diego Hebrew Day Annual Gala 2021. We are celebrating a remarkable school year, many unique memories, and a year of heroic achievement. Have you seen the commercial, "I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV"? Well, I am a doctor, and tonight I am playing Master of Ceremonies for this virtual gala celebration. My name is Dr. Ronit Lev, an emergency and addiction physician. I served at the White House and practice daily on the front lines. But most importantly, I am a proud mother of 4 children who now, as adults, still benefit from their Hebrew Day education. Some of you know me as we raised our children together at Hebrew Day, and some of you I have yet to meet. But throughout this evening, you'll learn a little bit about me as we bond together over the most precious things in our lives, our children, and our gratitude to Hebrew Day. We are together now to honor very special heroes. Heroes who wear masks and have superpowers, and may even have a cape somewhere at home in their closets. Our heroes have the superpower of courage. They can overcome challenges at home with their personal pandemic crisis and persevere, carrying out their important mission of teaching our children in person. faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive or a cup of coffee, able to leap tall buildings and tall questions in a single bound. Look, up at the screen, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's super San Diego Hebrew Day teacher. Unstoppable. Tonight, we are together, some of us physically together, so we can honor and thank these precious treasures in our own backyard, the teachers of San Diego Hebrew Day School. Until just a few days ago, our world seemed upside down. God cast a plague of COVID on the planet, and we experienced fear and uncertainty like never before in our lifetime. In the confusion, we were directed to hide at home, to delay building a future, to withdraw. Not our Hebrew Day teachers. They rose to the challenge, sacrificed, innovated, and made sure that our children continue to learn and grow. With courage, they did not abandon their posts, and our children have so benefited from this dedication. Thank you, teachers, for continuing the Hebrew Day mission despite the challenging guidelines, the evolving science, and the thick web of difficulties that the coronavirus pandemic presented. You juggled your own personal, emotional, and family needs and balanced the needs of your family away from family, your job at Hebrew Day. It felt like we were living in biblical times, and through this era, you, our teachers, continued teaching Torah, inspiring students, and showing our children what it looks like to always look to the future with hope, trust, and confidence.
It's another wonderful morning, and I started with a song. I will say my mother, Annie, would you like to sing along? All you have to say is thank you. I'm glad that I woke up. It's another wonderful morning, and I started with a song. Mother, Annie, let's stand and clap, and I sing who has can be.
I just love watching the Siddur party. I remember when my kids were there, and it was a very meaningful, wonderful event. My road to the White House came from a vision to unite physical health with mental health and addiction health. Our personal health is a combination of all these aspects and cannot be divided into categories. On my podcast, High Truths on Drugs and Addiction, I promote prevention and treatment of addiction and strive for medical care that integrates all aspects of our health. A key aspect of addiction is prevention, and that means protecting the growing brain. Neuroscience teaches us that the brain physically grows until age 25 or 27, and therefore protecting the brains of our children and young adults is crucial in preventing addiction. Throughout these years, this critical learning period, The brains are like sponges, absorbing amazing amounts of material, building and enhancing new neuronal pathways. These pathways create a road for the brain that can last a lifetime. The roads can be built with math, Torah, and modeling attitudes of identity and resilience. It is my pleasure to introduce Miriam Ament to our Hebrew Day community. Miriam created No Shame on You so that our Jewish community can speak about mental wellness openly and learn to support one another.
Good evening. Thank you for being with us tonight to celebrate amazing teachers and learning. Holding in-person classes throughout the school year could only have happened thanks to the teachers supporting one another and by San Diego Hebrew Day tuning into mental as well as physical health and well-being. I am the founder of No Shame on You, established in 2014 as a nonprofit dedicated to eliminating the stigma associated with mental health conditions by raising mental health awareness through the Jewish community and beyond. This is a topic of great importance, and it has a place especially within tonight's celebration. San Diego Hebrew Day had done an exemplary job in factoring in mental wellness, in openly discussing the fears and concerns of its teachers, both COVID-related and in general. The students here see adults who can rely on one another, be open with one another, and by supporting each other, carry one teaching and giving to the students. A little background. I am a product of Jewish day school in Chicago from kindergarten through 12th grade. Starting when I was young, I began experiencing what I now know were severe bouts of depression. In my 20s, in spite of my personal successes, things got progressively worse. I was hospitalized 3 times. Only a few people knew. And even those few were too many, as it turned out. One of my then closest friends from childhood, a classmate from my Jewish day school years, called me when I was in the hospital and said, "I only want to talk to you when you're happy, so let's not talk again for a while." And then I never heard from her again. If someone I considered a close friend would stop talking to me, what would other people think? From then on, I kept my hospitalizations a secret. The only person I told was the man who is now my husband. It was a chance encounter with a mental health advocate that guided me forward, enabling me to turn what seemed like a negative aspect of my life into something positive, an opportunity to help others. Through my work, I see daily how important it is to take into account the mental health of all individuals, especially children and adolescents. I have been able to have a huge impact on the Jewish community through my openness about my mental health journey, letting people know that they are not alone in their personal struggles. And that is how I decided to found No Shame on You. Keeping the social and emotional health of others, colleagues, and students is a top concern at San Diego Hebrew Day, and the administration maintains this focus day in and day out. I am so pleased to see a Jewish institution so mindful of and transparent about their mental wellness. This is why I have agreed and feel honored to serve on the school's mental health task force and support their trailblazing mental health work within the Jewish day school community. Thank you for Rabbi Weiser for reaching out to me and for inviting me to tonight's celebration. This year's success would not have otherwise been possible. Thank you to all who have joined tonight in supporting this wonderful school.
Thank you, Miriam. As we come out of this COVID year, we know how important it is for us to support one another and for us to offer strength, especially when we have doubts and fears. Let's enjoy some inspiring music from Chazan Liran Levi, coming to us from Jerusalem.
Hi guys, thank you for asking me to participate in tonight's gala for San Diego Hebrew School. I can feel your love from San Diego to here to Israel. So guys, teachers, this is for you. שיר למעלות, אשא עיניי אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי מעם השם עושה שמיים וארץ, אל יתן למות אל ינום שומרך הנה לא ינום ולא יישן שומר ישראל השם שומרך השם צילך על יד ימינך יום השמש לא יכך וירח בלילה השם ישמורך מכל רע ישמור את נפשך השם ישמור צאתך ובואך sing with me guys מעתה ועד עולם I want you to sing with me guys everybody sing with me מעתה ועד עולם מעתה ועד עולם מעתה ועד עולם.
This year, we lost one of the Gedolim, giants in our generation, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, Zichrono Levracha. Through his writings and speaking, his eloquent Torah teaching and moral leadership, Rabbi Sacks continues to impact Jewish life today. I read a chapter a week of Rabbi Sacks' book on leadership. This coming week's Parsha, Be'alotecha, Rabbi Sacks explains the difference between power and influence. Power reduces or diminishes people. It makes them victims. Influence is different. It grows by lifting and enlarging others. Teachers influence, inspire, educate, listen, and the outcome is producing leaders. Rabbi Weiser, please introduce to our Hebrew Day community Rabbi Dr. Raphael Zarum, one of Rabbi Sacks' most devoted students.
Rabbi Dr. Raphael Zarum is the head of the London School of Jewish Studies and occupies a position held by Rabbi Sacks. It is our privilege to bring to San Diego for the first time Rabbi Dr. Zarum.
Thank you so much. And it's a real pleasure to be with you in the San Diego Hebrew Day School. And as you can tell from my accent, I'm not from down your parts, so I'll try and speak slowly because my accent and difference might affect things. So as I said, to be with you, San Diego Hebrew Day School, and to share with you in this amazing gala is very valuable and meaningful for me. And I want to thank Joyce Arovas and Rabbi Weiser for inviting me to speak to you. And they asked that I talk about the legacy of Rabbi Sacks and his connection with education. And this is very personal for me because he was my teacher for many years, and I sat at his feet and in his classes and read his books over decades. And I want to just share with you a few ideas that he taught me and I want to expand upon about Jewish education, which for me were transformative and hopefully will be very meaningful for you as well. The first thing Rabbi Sacks always talked about is how much he loved and valued teachers. He used to say to me, Rafi, when you visit a school, Aleinu l'shabeach. It is for us to praise. You praise the head teacher, you look at what the teachers do, you thank them for what they're doing because they're making such a difference into Jewish education. And he always praised the courage and commitment of teachers and what they do. And he used to say to me, actually, when he retired in 2013, he said, finally, I can go back to what I want to do really, which is teaching. And there's an amazing Gemara in Ketubot 103b that has an incredible story that I think relates for me about what Rabbi Sachs felt about Jewish education. Because he always said, Jewish education, it's not what we do, it's who we are. And this story, I think, of Rabbi Chia, Rabbi Chanina, really tells that. Because the Gemara in Ketubot says the following. It asks the question, what would happen if Torah was forgotten from the Jewish people? If people didn't know Judaism, Jewish learning anymore, what would happen? And Rabbi Chanina says, that's never going to happen, because if the knowledge got lost, I could recreate all the knowledge from my own mind, which is one approach, and it's the kind of intellectual, authoritative approach. Rabbi Chia turns around and says, but I won't let Torah get forgotten in the first place. And then it tells a story of what Rabbi Chia would do. He would go to a town where there were no teachers and no knowledge of Jewish education. And what would he do? It says he would go to them and start living in that community. And he'd start working with the different kinds of people. He would work in terms of capturing animals and making food and being involved in that world. And he would capture animals and work with those kinds of people. And eventually, when their skins were the meat was used for food to feed people, and then the skins were used to make parchment and scrolls. And then Rabbi Chia would take those parchments and write the 5 books of the Torah in those parchments, and then teach 5 children each one of the books of the Torah, and then say, now go and teach your friends. And the rabbi said, how great is Rabbi Chia for doing this? Now, this is a bit of a crazy story. Why is he writing an entire new Sefer Torah? Why not just pay someone else to do it? Why not go to a place where there's scribes, get the Torah and turn up in the community, hand out to the children and teach each other? What's going on here? I mean, just think how long it must have taken to be involved in the capturing of animals and the whole agricultural cycle and the animal husbandry cycle, looking after this community, and then eventually writing the Torah scrolls. Why is it like that? So I think I know why. It's because, and it's in his name, Rabbi Chia. Chia means life. He lives with the community. It must have taken a whole cycle. So it wasn't just the intellectuals or the learning people who knew Rabbi Chia. He hung out with the farmers. He spent time with the people hunting animals. In the late pub at night, we call it a pub, and he would talk to them. They were, oh, Rabbi Chia, he's one of us. And then he changed careers and started writing these texts, and the kids would probably put their heads through, what are you doing, Rabbi Chia? What are you writing? You'll see. It took him a year to write Sefer Torah. So he's 2 or 3 years down the line, but they all know him. And because they all know him, because he's part of the community, when he starts saying to the children, I want to share with you what I've written down, they want to learn. They want to listen. They want to hear what Chia has to say. And then he teaches each of the 5 children and teach each other. And that confidence is incredible, because just think about it. The boy or the young girl who learns the book of Genesis, Bereshit, has never heard of Moshe Rabbeinu. She's never even heard of Moses or Mount Sinai. And yet Rabbi Chia empowers her to teach the other 4 children. Isn't that amazing? Why? Because that's what empowerment is. Teaching isn't just something I turn up and I do and I leave. It's my life. I live it. I'm with the community for the ups and the downs. And that, as I've learned from Rabbi Weiser, and I watched your Gala last year, is what your school is about. You're involved in the community. The teachers care about the children, not just in the 7 or 8 hours in school, but in their lives and what it means to them. That's Chia's approach to Jewish education, bringing it to life. That's what Rabbi Sachs said. It's not just what we do, it's who we are. So that's my first message to you, to thank your teachers who are involved in the lives and the loves of your pupils and sharing in that wide level. The second thing I want to talk to you is about what we've all gone through in this last year and a half, this global pandemic and what it's done to us. Here's what Rabbi Sachs once wrote about the importance of recovering. He said, when I first became chief rabbi, I had to undergo a medical examination. The doctor had me walking at a very brisk pace on the treadmill. What are you testing? I asked him. How fast I can go or how long? Neither, the doctor replied. I'll be observing how long it takes for your pulse to return to normal after you come off the treadmill. That is when I discovered, said Rabbi Sachs, that health is measured by the power of recovery. We are recovering, we are coming out of it. But it's a challenge, and we mustn't ever forget how difficult it's been. Now, last year, when Rabbi Sachs's book came out on morality, I interviewed him about this, and I asked him a question about resilience. Have a look at this video now. a huge issue in education now by Sachs. People use the word resilience. Children should be resilient. And even though I know what they mean, I'm very nervous about that word, because resilience comes from material science, where an object, when you bend it, returns to its shape and doesn't retain the energy that was inside it. For me, the whole point of when something hurts you and you grow from it, you don't forget what it felt like. You don't flip back. You are changed by it. You are not resilient in that sense. It's made an impression on you. And the language of resilience doesn't capture that. So I get very nervous when people use, certain languages become the words of society.
Yeah. People are lazy in their thinking. They really are. And, Rafi, I see this as one of my jobs as a rabbi, to get people to think hard. I think Judaism says, use your mind. That's what Hashem gave it to us for. Be critical, ask questions, challenge, look at the counterexamples, and as you say, don't forget the pain. We never forget the pain. 2,500 years later, we're still fasting on Tisha B'Av. We never forget the pain, but we never let the pain defeat us.
We have to use our minds. We can't afford simple thinking. We need to be more thoughtful about our Jewishness. So what's the purpose of Jewish education? Of course, number one is knowledge, how to live a Jewish life. We have to pass on the ability to read Hebrew, to be able to pray, to know the laws in order to live a Jewish life. And second of all, we want to pass on that love, the inspirational love and appreciation of Yiddishkeit, of our tradition, that our teachers infuse so well. And Rabbi Weiser, just by talking to him for 2 minutes, you can see the love that he emanates. Of course, we need the knowledge and we need the love. But there's a third aspect we need, which Rabbi Sachs cared about very much. And that is an understanding of Jewish principles and values and how to use them in our lives. It's what I call a moral compass. If children go to a good Jewish school and they learn these values, then as they get old, they'll think, what should I do in this case? What values inside me have I been taught and shared that will make me make the right decisions? We're not just teaching our children, this is what you've got and go away and live your life. We're trying to give them a structure, a framework, so that when they have the challenges of who to marry, of where to live, of how to live their lives, the values come into them. Their internal moral compass is so imbued in their bodies, it's so internalized because of the education that you have given them, that it comes out and they make those decisions. We say at the end of the Torah, Moshe in his final speech to the Jewish people says, "Uvacharta b'chayim," and choose life. And that choice is not a cold choice of black or white. It's a choice infused with this moral compass. Moshe could only say choose after his long speech, after the weeks of the speech Moshe has given to those Jewish people. Then you can choose. If you get a good Jewish education that you're giving in San Diego Hebrew Day, at the end, you can say to your children, "Uvacharta b'chayim," you've got your moral compass, now choose it to choose a good and meaningful Jewish life. And if we've inspired them well, if we've given them love, if we've given them a balancing understanding of those values, then they can do what Rabbi Sachs wanted, not just think simplistically, but to think deeply and appreciate the wonderful depth and brilliance of our Torah and of the teachers over thousands of years. And they can beautifully and thoughtfully and throughout their long lives, B'charta b'chayim, choose a good, meaningful life. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
I would like to share with you about my early Jewish education. In 1966, my mother and father came to New York City for my father to study engineering at Columbia University. My parents were born in Baghdad, Iraq, and with the exodus of Jews from Arab countries, had immigrated to Israel. They had a strong Israeli identity, a strong spiritual Jewish affiliation, but did not have the benefit of a religious education. When they arrived to America, my mother did not speak English. They were truly strangers and were greeted with warmth by the American Jewish community. One man, I do not know his name, told my parents that they must provide a Jewish education for their children. He insisted on paying for my tuition to Ramaz, a prestigious Jewish day school on Manhattan's Upper East Side. And so, little Ronit became a scholarship child and a student of Torah and Judaism. To this day, the education I received at Ramaz is the basis of who I am as a Jew. My parents moved from New York after 4th grade to a community without a Jewish day school. The foundation I received at Ramaz remained my gold standard for Judaism. My childhood neuronal pathways formed and shaped while attending Jewish day school built a strong connection for Jewish learning that sustained me even when I lived in areas that lacked a Jewish community. I vowed to give my children a similar Jewish education. I look back and realize how much gratitude I have for that one man and to the American Jewish philanthropy that saw the value of investing in little Ronit Lev. Here at Hebrew Day, there are dozens of Ronit Levs who are absorbing Jewish values and ideals through their Torah study. Which little girl or boy will, in the future, stand up and thank you anonymously for inspiring their Jewish life?
Wouldn't each of us want to be that person who inspired a great Jewish life, who changed the course of a child who's sitting in a Hebrew Day classroom today, so that years later they could look back with such appreciation and such gratitude for the support and the education that we're providing now? It's certainly every teacher's dream, and it's every supporter's dream, so let's collaborate together. A link is opening up, which will enable you to contribute now. Many on this Zoom have already contributed, and thank you very much. And if you can contribute more, thank you again. For those who want to contribute tonight or have waited till tonight to contribute, please do so now. This is what creates inspired Jewish lives. Hebrew Day has done so since 1963. We continue to do so. And just as we've seen so many Hebrew Day alumni do so much for the communities in which they live, including our own, we can look forward to today's students doing just as well in the future. Please use the link in your chat to contribute at this time. Here's our opportunity to inspire another Ronit Lev, to inspire another great Jewish leader. And while you're contributing, let's enjoy again Chazan Liran from Jerusalem.
But stay tuned. We'll soon be able to personally thank our hero teachers in appreciation of their devotion to our children.
אוויר הרים צלול כיין וריח אורנים נישא ברוח הארבעים עם כל פעמונים ובתרדמת אילן ואבן שבויה בחלומה העיר אשר בדד יושבת ובליבה חומה סיפוי מגייז ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים 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 של שלום ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים. Love you, man. Thank you.
Is it ever possible to thank a teacher? thank you falls so short. But let's first think for a moment, what are we thanking our teachers for? San Diego Hebrew Day is the place that Jewish identity gets passed on from one generation to the next, one heart connecting with another. It happens best when people see each other face to face, when they see each other looking each other in the eye and connecting and communicating. It took great courage for our teachers to come in every school day and to do that. And I've always believed as an educator that great teaching stems not from some technique or something learned in school, but it comes from the identity and the integrity of the teacher themselves. It comes from inside of them. San Diego Hebrew Day is truly blessed with great teachers. They don't just show up, but they're authentically present for every one of our children. They connect with them. Certainly our 175 families are forever in the debt of each and every one of our teachers. Certainly we as a Jewish community, and in fact, everyone has a debt of gratitude to teachers for what they've done this year and what they've accomplished. You haven't been able to see it firsthand as I have. We've kept you out of the building. Because of COVID, only staff members, only teachers, only students have come in every day. Let's first take a moment to see with our own two eyes what's going on inside our classrooms so that we can truly appreciate those people we're here to honor tonight.
אם שומעים אותי לגעת במצח, אם שומעים אותי לגעת בגב. I'm going to add more ice because as you can see, it's sublimating pretty quickly. So it's turning from a solid into a gas.
Okay, so we're open to page 2. Go ahead, Liam, our Chazan, take us away.
Now tell me, what borders on the right side of Israel?
They mostly lived off of trading, industry.
All right, go ahead and complete your sentences. Remember.
Well, my teachers are great at helping us get smarter and better, and if they weren't, and they're brave enough to make us be here at school.
Even though this pandemic has been very hard, I think that the teachers still managed to come up with very fun lessons plans for us, and I just thought they did a great job this year.
We learned the alphabet, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud. Like we learned about dry ice and how it bubbles when you put water in it.
In terms of this year, it was hard because of everything we were doing and COVID and things need to be restricted. And the atmosphere was really great, really helpful, really understanding of if you don't turn something in on time. And they were really supportive in many different ways on trying to figure out new ideas to bring to the table.
Tell me, do you like your teachers?
Yeah!
How much?
800, 100, 200, 358, 100, 100 billion.
100 billion? You really like your teachers, huh?
This song is for those who inspire us today, who always lend a helping hand to help show us the way. This song is for those who see their students through the tough times in their lives. For that we say thank you. You have made a difference. You have shaped our minds. You have changed the world, one child at a time. You have always been there in everything you do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. This song is for those who heard the silent cries, who stepped in to wipe the tears from the children's eyes. For those who gave us us to call our home. Forever we will know that you have made a difference. You have shaped our minds. You have changed the world, one child at a time. You have always been there in everything you do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. This song is for those who taught us right from wrong, who taught us much more than their craft to help our minds grow strong. This song is for those who guide us through and through, so that we can make a life for that we say
Because every other year it's different, and here they're making new things that makes it different.
If I was a teacher right now, I would just be stuck, kind of. I didn't know anything of what to do because of this pandemic, but the teacher, they really did a great job with this.
Thank you so much to all of my teachers, all the staff members here. I really appreciate everything you did to make this year feel as normal as it can.
Do you like your teachers? Do you like them or not?
I love them.
You have made a difference. You have shaped our minds. You have changed the world, one child at a time. You have always been there in everything you do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. As I look back on my life and to the path within my reach, I hope I can change the life of those that I teach. I can make a difference. All I do is try to see a different world through the children's eyes. And I will always be there in everything I do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. And I will always be there in everything I do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you.
We've reached a moment where we can actually participate and connect with one another and say thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first show you, gathered at the Hebrew Day School, many of our accomplished, devoted teachers standing together, enjoying this evening with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty of San Diego Hebrew Day School. Now it's our turn. Be sure your camera's on. Let's stand up. It's opportunity to express appreciation, to show this group of teachers and every man and woman who has come in to teach our children this year. We appreciate you. We admire you. We're in your debt. Thank you so much for what you have given our children in the face of all this disruption. How much you love, how much inspiration, how much guidance, and how much wisdom you have taught them each and every school day. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in showing our faculty how much we thank them for what they've done. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This thing is live, you know.
It's live?
This is live.
Like it's really gonna be live?
It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I hear
we're gonna see everybody?
We're gonna see everyone. I hear they're honoring an incredible volunteer of the year.
Really?
Yes.
I can't wait to see who that is.
Like every achievement, there's a back office. There are people monitoring and making it possible for us to have school every day. We want to recognize the incredible volunteerism and devotion of Dr. Abraham Browdy, himself a San Diego Hebrew Day grad, a graduate of UCSD Medical School, an established pediatrician in our community. But above all else, Dr. Browdy spent every Wednesday morning throughout this year as part of our COVID task force, leading our COVID task force, advising us, shifting through all the conflicting information and making sure, as much as humanly possible, our children were safe, secure, and healthy through so many decisions, popular and unpopular, that were made. Ladies and gentlemen, let's add a thank you and an appreciation to Dr. Abraham Browdy. Thank you, Dr. Browdy, for your leadership and for incredibly guiding our COVID task force this year.
No. It's on Zoom.
This evening, our chair people have been Gavin and Cheryl Horn. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I join in welcoming Gavin Horn.
Good evening. My name is Gavin Horn, and together with my wife Cheryl, we are proud to be tonight's honorary chairs. We join in thanking our wonderful teachers for keeping the school open and keeping our children safe, both physically and spiritually, throughout this year. We've been parents at San Diego Hebrew Day for 15 years, and our youngest child is graduating. I want to share how my perspective on Jewish education has changed since we started. You see, I never had the privilege of a Jewish education. I was basically taught to read and write Hebrew and could follow along in the Siddur. When I was ready to get married to Cheryl, I had no interest in giving my children a Jewish education. In fact, on one of our first dates, Cheryl gave me 3 conditions to get married, one of which was to have a dog, and the other one was to give our children a Jewish education. I definitely didn't want a dog, but I felt even stronger at the time what a waste of money it was to get a Jewish education. Now, by the time Jacob was ready to go to the school in 2006, I changed my mind and we chose San Diego Hebrew Day for our family. And it was financially hard as I predicted. By the time Gala, our 3rd child, was at the school, almost half of my salary after tax was going to pay tuition, and I decided at the time that on the day my last child graduates, I was going to hand Rabbi Weiser a piece of paper showing how much Jewish education had cost us. So what changed? I began to see firsthand the impact of a Jewish education and what kind of people our children and their classmates were becoming. Young adults ready to find their way wherever life takes them. But one thing stands out in particular. As the graduating class of 2021 was transitioning to middle school, 2 parents of classmates were diagnosed with terminal cancer. So as the class began their transition from childhood to adulthood, a dark cloud hung over the family celebrations. As COVID struck, things went from bad to worse, and bar mitzvahs became car mitzvahs. But still our children came out to support each other. Eventually tragedy struck, and both parents passed away. And instead of parties, our children were now making shiva calls. I was profoundly impressed by how they came to support their friends, and I was even more impressed by the young orphans, by the dignity and grace they showed during this unimaginable time. I watched the boys losing their father, providing him with support as he came to shul for the last time on his own father's yahrzeit, and then a few days later speak at their father's funeral. But one incident stood out for me the most. On the second night of the shiva, while waiting to take them back home to their mom, they wouldn't come with me. They had other plans. You see, another member of our community had lost his own father on the same day, and he was starting shiva. And one of the boys turned to me and asked, "What is the phrase to comfort mourners?" And I told him, he's South African, so just wish him long life. In the meantime, his brother had already gone over by himself, and I watched as the 2 boys stepped out from their own loss and went to comfort a man older than their father as he began his mourning. It was then I finally realized just what a Torah education is capable of producing and how important it was as a foundation for our family. So I will still hand Rabbi Weiser a piece of paper at graduation, but instead of seeing it as a korban olah, a sacrificial burnt offering, I now see what we spent to educate our children as a korban todah, a sacrificial thanksgiving offering, noting the strength and deep concern for others that a Torah education gives our children and the future they can build on. In supporting the school tonight and into the future, you are strengthening us parents and forming the leaders who will keep Judaism alive.
Even before Israel was declared a state in 1948, its leaders came to the American Jewish community to fundraise. They said, "Give us your money and we will change history." So I say to you the same. Give us your money, and San Diego Hebrew Day will continue to change history through our children, who are already becoming the leaders of our people. Years ago, the American Jewish community made an investment in me, little Ronit. I believe that investment paid off, for me personally, but more importantly, for my 4 children. Investment in Jewish education is not just for your children, it's also for your grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I would not be a stereotypical Jewish mother if I did not share with you my most proud achievement, my 4 children. Each of them received a core Jewish education that frames who they are as adults. My oldest son, Ilan, is a dentist in Poway, working with his father and about to get married to Diana, a Jewish dentist with Israeli parents from San Juan Capistrano. My son, Oren, married another Hebrew Day alum, Chava, and they live in University City. My daughters, Karen and Ariella, are officers in the United States Navy serving at America's Medical School. Each child has their unique way of practicing Judaism with a spark of Yiddishkeit deep in their heart and a strong neuronal pathway thanks to Hebrew Day School education. When I sent my kids to Hebrew Day, I gained a partner in raising my children. School became a family extension, and the head of that family is the head of the school, Rabbi Simcha Weiser. Having multiple kids over many years at Hebrew Day means issues come up. And I got called into the headmaster's office and sat in that chair across from the principal. It's a sinking feeling even as an adult. I have to say, Rabbi Weiser, you navigated difficult situations masterfully with empathy and intelligence. And I thank you. And retrospectively, I can tell you, Rabbi Weiser, you made wise decisions.
Our focus remains our children. After all, it's our investment in them and our expectation of them to carry forward all that we believe is most important and the legacy of the Jewish people till the end of time. One more appeal tonight, please, if you haven't already, or if you would like to do more, please use the link as we complete this year's 2021 annual fund campaign so that we can provide tuition assistance, so that we can have the latest technology, so that we can keep our teachers current with our professional development program, and so that we can sustain the science and engineering learning, which is so much the hallmark of what we achieve. Carry forward this Torah inspiration for generations to come. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for contributing. Thank you. Ronit?
Thank you all for joining us at San Diego Hebrew Day Annual Gala. It is very fitting that the year of the pandemic we honor our teachers, our heroes. Thank you, teachers, for instilling knowledge and pride in our precious Jewish children and creating leaders. As we say at the end of the Passover Seder, B'shana haba'a beYerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. But just in case we can't be in Jerusalem, B'shana haba'a in person. Next year's gala, God willing, may we celebrate in person.
ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים שזהב ושל נחושת ושלו הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור אני כינור.
I love you, Marlia, Giselle, Lisa, Aaron. I love you. Thank you. You help me when I need help.
And what are you going to say?
To more Lori and to more Teresa.
I love you.
Thank you for providing the most caring and stimulating environments for our kids. Thank you, Maura Judith, Maura Dea, Maura Lori, and Maura Teresa. We really appreciate you.
And we really appreciate sort of the love and the care that the teachers have given our children all through the years. You treat them like your own, and we really love you and appreciate you for that.
We love you.
Bye. Bye. I love you, my honey, and my Judith, because you help me when I need help. I love you more than more Judith because you're so nice. I just love you. At snack time and lunch time and exercise and yoga and diving and all these things. You make me so happy and it makes me special and now I try to make you special and I want to make you special as queen.
Hi guys, I'm Oli Mizan, and I graduated the Hebrew Day in 2020. I just wanted to say how much I missed the Hebrew Day. The Hebrew Day was my family and my second home. I just wanted to thank all the teachers who helped me develop into who I am today. I miss you guys so much, and I hope to see you again in the future. Bye!
Thank you so much, Maura Lori. We wanted to express our appreciation. You helped Morris with warmth and kindness through so much this year, like our cross-country move and his new baby sister. We love you. Do you want to say thank you to Maura Lori?
Thank you.
Thank you, Maura Lori. We love you.
I love you.
Who do you love?
My Moras.
Your Moras? What are their names?
Mora Syria and Mora Teresa.
Oh, we love them. Thank you, Maura Sylvia and Maura Teresa.
Maura Leah and Maura Giselle and Maura Lisa and Maura Aaron. You work so, I love you and you work so hard for me. I'm sure all the kids love you so much.
Hello, we are the Wenger women. I am Yvonne Cummins Wenger, and I was very lucky to graduate the day school many, many moons ago. And this is
Kayla, and I graduated in 2018.
This is
Rebecca, and I graduated in 2020.
And my son Aaron graduated in 2015, but he's in Israel right now, and so he has done his own video. But we really want to thank the day school in general for the tremendous path that has led us on, and of Torah and Judaism and tremendous growth. And in particular, we want to thank the teachers, and we each want to thank a couple teachers. For me, I want to thank Mrs. Lipo for bringing Shakespeare alive and instilling a love of reading and literature. And I want to thank Rabbi Hollander for teaching me and all of my children, which I'm so thankful for really making Judaism alive and imbuing the rest of our lives. So thank you so much.
And I want to thank Mr. Bessler for really pushing me to question and instilling within me a real love and passion for science.
And I want to thank Mrs. McCullough for making art history come alive and making my first years of elementary school really enjoyable.
Thank
you.
Hi everybody, this is Aaron Vinger. I'd like to thank everyone at SWAL for making my time there absolutely incredible. From pre-K to 8th grade, no matter what level of education I was at, I always understood the importance of knowledge, of learning, of education, and had to implement that into my life, not only to become a more knowledgeable person, but also to become a better person and to help those around me. I'd like to especially thank Rabbi Hollander, who showed me not only the power of understanding, but also the power of sharing that with others to make sure they understand it as well. That's something that really helped me throughout my life, and I still carry that with me today. Not only that, the food was incredible, the games were incredible, my friends were incredible, and thank you, SWAL.